로프 없이 등반하는 프리솔로 상징이자 3000피트 수직 절벽의 엘 캐피탄 정복자 알렉스 호놀드입니다.
I sometimes, fear is a sensation in your body, same as lots of other things. And so I've used this analogy before, but I'm kind of like, it's like hunger. You know, it's like when you experience hunger, you're not like, oh my God, I'm hungry. I need a sandwich right now. You're just kind of like, okay, I should eat at some point. And I think because people experience fear much less frequently, it feels more overwhelming. But, if you experience fear with the same regularity that you experience hunger, then you're kind of like, okay, like I'll deal with that in due time. Like when it makes sense, I'll manage that. But fundamentally, feeling fear is just feeling some sensations in your body. Or so, like it's not like, doesn't matter more or less than any other thing that you feel in your body, really, unless it's telling you you're about to die. In which case you should pay attention.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel that what you just said about the more frequently you are exposed to fear, the less fear affects you? Does that translate from the physical sensation to when you're having emotional, relational challenges as well?
Probably less so than my wife wishes,
No, you know what I mean, right?
I think it does a little bit probably because, to some extent, managing fear is managing fear.
On January 23rd, you're climbing the tallest building in Taiwan. Why?
Why? Because it's awesome. Because I get to, basically. It's because it'll be so fun. Basically it's really hard to get permission to climb a building, and if you get permission, you kind of have to say yes. It's like so many other sorts of life experiences where you're kind of like, well, it's a hard thing to do, but you get permission, you kind of just have to go do it.
Talk to me about the visualization, because I'm such a big fan of visualization.
I read about it in your book.
As a meditation technique. Talk to me about where you just said you have a picture of the building.
Well, yeah. So, in rock climbing, like when I'm climbing hard routes, let's say, you always just imagine the route, you think about it, you remember the moves. Part of it is to physically remember what to do, like left hand, right hand, like drop the left hip, turn the knee, things like that, like the mechanics of it. And then part of the visualization is like, what will it feel like, particularly around free soloing, things that you're not going to be able to practice necessarily. So some of the visualizing is just, like, how will it feel to put my foot on something that's really slippery when, I'm going to die if it slips. And so you're just kind of imagining the sensations and all that kind of stuff.
So you can't, as part of free soloing, you can't go and climb this building at any point in order to practice.
Well, no, I can go practice it with a rope.
Okay,
but the thing is, you just don't know, because when you have a rope on, you don't really mind if your foot's going to slip or something.
Yeah.
But then when you take the rope away, you're kind of like, well, is it going to feel different? Like, I don't know. And you can't totally practice that. So you kind of have to do that mentally. Just imagine it. And
does failure do you even ever think about failure?
Well, if failure means death, then you think about it a lot. No, I don't know. Can I give more than one sentence?
Please.
Because I was sort of like,
freestyle.
Because it's interesting, because in climbing, failure, like basically as a climber, you fail all the time, nonstop. Like as a climber, you basically try projects and you fail on them over and over and over until the one time you succeed. And then as soon as you succeed, you move on to the next thing. And so, like yesterday, I failed on a project that I've been working on and off for like 5 or 6 years or something. I've been trying it forever. It's like my life project. And I almost did it yesterday, and hopefully I'll do it on Sunday, which is the next day I get to go back there. But basically I will have spent years, literally years, failing on something, and then I'll do it once, which will represent about 13 minutes of high performance activity where I like try really hard. It might even be less than that. I'm not sure how long it takes to climb, but it's like in the minutes. And then after, years of failure, I'll have 6 minutes of success, and then I'll move on to the next thing. So as a climber, it's like, you don't really define it as success and failure, because you spend all your time failing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Again, the exposure therapy is
it's like you're just always failing. But that's the whole point. The whole point is to go out and try things that are hard for you. So by that definition, you're not failing. You're just going climbing. Yeah. Like climbing is failing.
Yeah.
After 10 or 20 years of doing something nonstop, full tilt, you're like, do I need to do another 20 years of that? And I knew that one day I'd want a family, and, it's like my aspiration is to die at 80 with grandkids around me. And it's hard to do that if you live alone in a van.
Is that really the dream?
Yeah, I think so. That's the way some of my grandparents died. And I'm like, that's a great way to go.
Would that make you feel content? Like if you were looking back on your life at 80, what do you think would stand out to you?
Well, I don't know. My last grandma died at 95, I think, surrounded by family. I'm kind of like, that's a good way to go. Like I would be delighted to have that play out.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's my wife.
I named my daughter after my beloved grandmother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.